Hello and welcome. This is Palan, and you are listening to Stuck in the Middle, a podcast that looks at the psychology of uncertainty, the quiet strength of ambivalence, and the choices that shape who we are. If you are navigating life's uncertainties, those moments of doubt, change, or growth, then you are in the right place. Because sometimes life isn't black or white, it's lived in shades of gray. We believe that in the context of ideas, we find clarity and the perspectives to move forward. Join us in this ongoing, meaningful conversation. Subscribe now and tap the bell icon. Welcome to this episode of Stuck in the Middle with Palan. And for this episode, we are delighted to have Malaysia's most celebrated entrepreneur, not only that, as well as Malaysia's most celebrated actor. Sometimes I call him as thespian because he can communicate with all generations. Everyone, I think even my grandchildren, just love his dance and his words when he comes across, both on Instagram or YouTube, whatever it is. But today we're not going to be talking to the actor, but we're going to be talking to the entrepreneur on businesses, price, and power. Who really controls the cost of living? So, Datuk Sri, you have 7,000 employees, 81 outlets. In some way or the other, you touch many people's lives in this nation. With your, long before AirAsia came, you were the low-cost provider, not the low-cost airline. So sometimes I wondered whether we'll have the
low-cost airline is not that low-cost anymore.
So low-cost airline is not low-cost. So we're always wondering, because I remember those days whenever my family wanted to do purchases, shopping, we'd always look for MYDIN, not just for low cost, but also for reasonable quality. And so today there is this growing perception that when prices go up, businesses are profiting beyond what they should profit. So the question is, are businesses responsible? If not, why are they being made a scapegoat?
Thank you. Thank you, Tan Sri, for having me in your podcast. It's an honor.
Thank you,
it's a pleasure.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
A pleasure. I think let's look at perspective.
Sure.
There's always this impression. Number one, prices are going up all the time. Very difficult nowadays to survive because of cost of living.
Of course.
Nothing new.
Sure.
If you ask me this 10 years ago, it will be the same answer.
Yeah.
And people are always like that. You ask any businessman, they say, how's business? Last year, very good, This year, very bad. You ask him last year, he will say the same thing. Even though the business could be better.
Sure.
Okay? Similarly, it's like that. People will always say about prices increase. But what I want to say here is basically, one, please note, if prices go up, they ain't coming down. Okay? Nobody out there, including Nasi Kandar fella, or suppliers, are going to reduce prices.
Sure.
Once you reach that peak, it just keeps going. Because no one is foolish enough to bring it down.
Sure.
Although under the Anti-Profiteering Act,
Sure.
we are not allowed to do this. But after saying that, who is to be blamed? Who is to be blamed?
Yeah, and how pricing works.
Okay. So, for one, don't blame MYDIN, all right? Or for the matter, all the retailers that are out there. All retailers, for that matter, work on a margin. Okay. So, if our gross margin is supposed to be 12, it's 12. 15, 15, 20, 20. It all depends on the format. You are in the premium market, your format, your margin gross could be higher. If you are the convenience shops, hypermarket, your margins will be definitely much lower. That's the margin, right? And we cannot run against that margin because our great enforcement agency from KPDN will come after us.
Sure.
So that's it. So we are basically, retailers are all a cost plus. You give us 10, we sell 11. You give us 11, we sell 12. And that's what we do. Okay. Now, are prices really going up? So let me be very blunt on this. I also sit. First, I'm a co-chair on Pemuda.
Yeah.
Pemuda. Being the co-chair Pemuda, I sit on NACOL.
Yeah.
NACOL, which is chaired by PMX, and many times by our Deputy Prime Minister. There was a meeting just recently on NACOL, the committee one, which is chaired by our KPDN Minister. And we from Pemuda were asked to present a paper exactly on this in terms of, because of the media crisis, the pressure, and what's happening. So they wanted us to present a paper to say, are they really going up? Okay. You know what? Seriously, if you look at the data, not at perception, we in MYDIN, which I presented, monitor about 100 of our key items.
Key items. Yeah.
Chicken, fish, bawang,
Essential.
all basic essential, including whatever, sundries, toiletries, all that. Actually, nothing has gone up.
Really?
Nothing. Seriously.
Really?
Price of tomato has gone up, but that happens every year. Okay, banjir there, panas sikit, the price will go up. Okay.
So it cannot be applied universally.
When you look, most of the item, actually they are on a negative territory. So prices have actually gone down.
Okay.
And we looked at it what? We looked at it the day the war started, in the Middle East, until last week. I didn't compare. I'm not comparing with last year or year before, because people say because of this tremendous pressure, prices are going up. Now, certain things are going up. Certain things, specifically certain things. Drinking water. The bottle price, because of basically plastic. So that water had gone up by 10 cents per bottle. Okay, how is reflected in retail? Of course, for MYDIN or retailers, goes up 10 cents, we go up 10 cents.
Of course.
At the mama shop, whether it goes up 10 cents, they go up 50 cents, that's another issue.
Sure.
I'm not an expert in restaurant F&B business.
Sure.
So prices generally have not gone up.
Sure.
Okay. So the consumer perception is more that they are going up. I think that is the main thing.
Sure.
And retailers like us cannot just bring up prices.
Sure.
Okay. And many item prices have gone down.
Sure.
Actually.
Sure.
And now that so-called ceasefire,
Yep.
hopefully it lasts.
It lasts.
It
Yeah.
lasts.
Right.
Every other day, something is happening. But I think everybody wants the ceasefire to last because of pressure, not on the ASEAN countries actually, but more on the European, the Americans, and media. I think they are. We should be thanking God lah. We are living in Malaysia. Seriously, we are one of the lucky countries which has the least effect.
So you think that the global supply chain disruptions and other things that they are talking about did not really affect Malaysia?
We are not suffering
Okay.
like what other countries are going through.
Right.
Okay, I don't like to say it's not affecting us.
Yeah,
but it does affect everybody.
Sure.
Certain sectors, especially when you go to construction, because although I'm a retailer, we also build our own hypermarkets, and we have few coming up. Construction has gone up, obviously. Now we see prices going up by 3 to 5%.
Right.
3 to 5%. So we have to make decision whether to go ahead with the project or maybe delay, because price of oil has just down.
Right. Right.
So that, of course, that effect is later.
Sure.
So 3 to 5% increase in construction doesn't mean that your house goes up by 3 to 5%. You see? So overall, seriously, prices have not gone up that high.
Sure.
Number one. Number two, our challenge here in Malaysia, our wages don't go up fast enough.
Sure.
Historically.
But then those wages are linked to productivity.
You know what? It is related to productivity, but we keep saying that and we don't increase wages for people.
So when Datoshi talks about wages, are you talking about minimum wages? Which of course I have been a great advocate of minimum wages. We have to bring it up. Or are you talking wages across the board?
I'm talking about minimum wages.
Minimum wages, okay.
It used to be 1.2, 1.5, then 1.7. And government keeps saying we will increase it. I have been, although it's a very heavy cost, employing 7,000 people, the minute you increase 100 ringgit,
it's a huge impact on the business.
Straight away, my bottom line per month goes up by 1.5 million.
Sure.
It's just like that, okay? But the main thing is, we are saying it like this. Minimum wage has to go up.
And what do you think is a reasonable minimum wage?
No. I think there are two parts of it. There's no such thing as reasonable.
Sure.
Okay? Wages have to go up progressively.
Okay.
Okay? Not every 3 years you say naik gaji.
Of course.
Because then it affects business, difficult for it to absorb. Okay? Productivity is very subjective.
Sure.
Okay? The main thing here is that you increase minimum wage, maybe 200 ringgit every year, seriously. But announce it now that 6 months time, 100 ringgit, another 6 months time, 100 ringgit. So businesses can adjust. And businesses will adjust.
Sure.
People will complain, businesses will complain, but they will adjust. That is the only way to get people to become more productive, spend more money on technology or whatever. But there's a challenge here. The challenge here is that why are we not getting more productive?
Sure.
Businesses will love to be productive. For business to be more productive, they have to become more profitable first.
Sure, of course.
Okay? If the government every other day comes up with another tax, say SST, for example, first only covered certain items. Then they go and add this, add that.
But the government says we are not applying SST to necessities, we're only applying to luxury goods.
You know what? How can you say you're not applying to necessity? Okay, simply because cost goes down all the way. So now, if someone is my nasi kandar fella, all right, I charge him say $10,000. Okay, now I have to charge him 10,000 plus 6%,
Sure.
6 or 8. Okay, right? Of course, the 10,000 has become 10,600. His cost has gone up. The price of roti canai will go up.
Of course,
So,
of course. Yeah.
isn't the roti canai the necessity there? Obviously. Government can tell, government very good at spinning stories anyway, right? So, that's the government, all right? I wish they were more honest, transparent, and saying that, yes, anywhere you apply SST, okay, it increases the cost of living.
Yeah.
Directly. There's no indirect.
So Datoshi, are you then saying that from your experience on the ground, because you walk on your hypermarket or hypermall, you really are meeting day-to-day people, the riot who are coming there, and you interact, you talk to them. So are you really saying that the government policy is not aligned to actual consumption? So they don't understand how people are consuming, and therefore they get confused with, because I understand the last time when we had the GST, the whole idea was direct taxation. Because all said and done, the government said we need more revenue and we wanted to have better roads, better health, better education. So we needed more revenue, so let's tax at source. Then, of course, it wasn't popular politically, so they went back to SST. And now, of course, they have a case. So from your experience, do you think this alignment is not just there?
I want to correct your statement.
Sure.
Whether the government understands or not. Who is the government? Politicians don't understand. Put it this way, politicians don't want to understand. All right? because politically it's very difficult. Does the government understand? Talk to the civil service. Obviously, they understand. You talk to Tan Sri Johan. Obviously, they understand. All right? I am very sure he'll be the first person to advocate GST if you ask him to say it off record.
Right.
But can he do that? You see? Because we know, obviously, the GST is a fairer tax because it's a consumption tax.
Of course, yeah, it is a consumption.
So you spend more, but I notice you buy batik from MYDIN, so you are not a high spender, right? Because MYDIN batik is only 15.
No. But the point is, the MYDIN batik serves a purpose. It's decent quality and it makes me look good, and that's fine. So
see, you look good.
Yeah.
It looks good, and I will say it's only 59 ringgit 90 cents in MYDIN.
Exactly.
Right. So why spend more? So it's like this. Sometimes it's like this. People tend to complain, but also if everyone was like you, Tan Sri, seriously, then they'll be going to MYDIN and buying a 59 ringgit baju batik, which serves the purpose, and it looks good, right?
Sure.
Okay. Compared to going, I don't want to mention my competitor, but the same batik somewhere will cost you 199, 159, right? So to me, shop at the right place. Okay. Jadi pengguna bijak. That is a KPDN slogan. Jadi pengguna bijak. Be a smart shopper, and all of us leave your branding thing aside. If you want to buy brands, fine. If you can afford it, go ahead. I'm not stopping you from buying your Louis Vuitton if you want to. I always wonder why the ladies like to buy Louis Vuitton, because
I always tell any lady who wants to buy Louis Vuitton, just read the book, The Psychology of Money.
Right.
Because he says money management is always about your behaviors. Whether you need it or whether you want it.
You see, when you have it, you don't have to flaunt it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure you can afford it, but it says, why?
Sure.
I'm okay, I'm comfortable, this is what I can wear.
Sure.
It meets my purpose. I don't need to have a brand here, a batik shirt, for example, right? But people are, unfortunately, very brand conscious in Malaysia. There should be more quality, and I'm not saying you buy cheap stuff and tomorrow.
Be prudent, yeah.
Be prudent. Okay.
So, Datuk Sri, what do you suggest governments do, or what measures do you think they should bring in to stabilize prices? Obviously, today, if the government doesn't want us to support tobacco or alcohol, because nobody says...
The tobacco industry pays very high taxes.
Yeah. So they just use the taxes as an intervention, right?
But they also support a lot of small traders in Kelantan.
Oh, is that right?
Right. Okay. To me, it's like this. Let market forces run the market.
But
government should not be in the process of manipulating prices.
But then,
okay?
Datuk Sri,
say like this. Seriously, it's a free market out there. It's a free market out there. Let it be there.
Sure.
All right. Government job is intervention when required. Intervention when required. When is it required? When prices suddenly say from 5 ringgit jumps to 10, and you see there's a cartel manipulating it. All right. You think there's a cartel manipulating it. Then you should intervene. This is why. There's no reason. Okay? Sure. You start controlling prices. You start saying that you can sell only chicken. The government controls chicken prices.
Yeah. Subsidize.
Okay? Couldn't find the chicken. Then they go and subsidize. Okay? Then there's some more abusers. They spend millions and billions of dollars. We retailers advocated, and I was there when PMX in that meeting decided to, because prices were going up, okay, and he said there was concern, and I was one of the strongest advocates, including industry, remove price control on chicken. After the removal of the price of control of chicken, I think it's already 3-4 years, the prices of chicken had not gone up to that old control price
of course,
yet.
Of course, yeah.
Okay? and so is eggs. So when you control, okay, you distort the market. Consumption is always there. People still the cheapest source of protein, but people will not invest into new farm because they say, alamak, if I keep investing, if government control, I won't be able to make money.
But eggs was a demand and supply situation, right?
We're exporting eggs. We don't have a problem. We still export eggs. We export eggs to Singapore, to Hong Kong. So, if the government has less interference, all right, business people will find their way to make money. And I also agree, businesses, back to the original of productivity. Why businesses cannot invest? Because the government keeps taking money away from us, from the businesses. Like you put SST. You want to have entertainment, you put entertainment tax. Why you want to put entertainment tax for amusement parks, for example? Okay, you want to put entertainment tax for your clubs, fine. Amusement park, family entertainment. It helps tourists to come down. You want to put high entertainment tax?
But then those three, we need the revenue, don't we? Because we are still supporting the B40, we are a welfare-based nation. And for example, rice. And we had this big drama about rice, I think a few years ago, and we were trying to get rice from everywhere. Then, of course, people said it is because of a monopoly. And I remember your statement, if you're allowed to import rice, you will actually be able to give something cheaper.
Even today.
Right.
Even today. You see, we obviously have a monopoly.
Sure.
Especially in beras import.
Yeah.
Everything goes to Bernas.
Yeah, of course.
Bernas. And Bernas makes
a certain percentage.
Theoretically, so that in terms of crisis,
they can manage it.
They can manage and they have a stockpile.
Sure.
When the government announces stockpile, when the government announces stockpile, we have this much stock. Which stockpile they're talking about? The government doesn't have a stockpile, They just add everything up at every millers and all the stock that we hold. They say, we have an 8-month stockpile. The government itself, unlike the US,
right.
They actually have a warehouse there having 4 months of rice stockpile.
I think
we don't have.
Many countries have it. I think India has it.
Okay, but we don't have that kind of stockpile. Okay, but it's okay. The government has managed well. We don't have a shortage. Okay, we are definitely not producing enough rice.
Sure.
That is another challenge. It's not that we cannot do it. Okay, government policies with the subsidies everywhere and the leakages everywhere. It's a very big challenge. Okay, but until now, if you allow me to import rice that we are selling at 30 ringgit for 10 kilos, I think it's going to be $22 or $24.
Well, that's a lot of saving. Huge saving.
Yeah, because Bernas is skimping everybody, right? Basmati rice, for example. Just take basmati because we can import basmati rice, right? We cannot import this.
Sure.
Seriously, we cannot import the import rice because it's controlled by Bernas. Okay, white rice. If you allow me to just say basmati rice, every kilo that we sell, $1 goes to Bernas. Right? Can you imagine how many tons of basmati rice are being sold in Malaysia, and how much money is going to Bernas for basmati rice, for fragrance rice, from Thailand and all that? Okay, millions and billions of dollars. All right, and who pays for this?
The consumer.
It's the consumers.
So my question...
Basmati rice will be cheaper than normal imported rice, seriously, if these fellas are not taking the $1.
So my question is, if, of course, I'm sure the goal of the government when forming Bernas was to bring down prices, was to ensure fair and equitable supply, was to ensure
are you being political or?
No, I'm not being political. I want to try and then see if that has not happened, Datuk, then what's the problem? Because that was your original intent. So now you're telling me that intent has not happened, but the prices are gone up. So then I think, rather than say you think, I think that the government should review this policy.
They supposed to review. Then during Tan Sri Muhyiddin's time, they already signed another 10-year contract. All right. So now, of course, when you ask the current PM, which is my hands are tied, I can't do anything. Wait until the 10-year contract expires. When the government says I cannot do anything, something wrong lah. Okay. Because if I remember government contracts, there's always a clause there somewhere. Government contract can be reviewed
Of course.
the security of the country.
Of course.
So maybe even that government contract was not drafted correctly by our AG lah. Somebody fell asleep.
So,
No, I have signed government contract before. There's a clause there. The government has the right to review and cancel the contract for the security of the country, blah, blah, blah.
of course, there are certain conditions.
Yeah.
One more thing that, just like Barnas, whatever the intent was and the intent is not achieved.
Intent is always noble lah.
Intent is always noble, but unfortunately execution doesn't happen. But we've also got Kedai Rakyat 1, we got Madani Mart, we've got a lot of these government introduced retail outlets or government introduced business. I was a young kid when Tun Tan Siew Sen was the finance minister and Tunku Abdul Rahman was the prime minister. I was very young. But I still remember one meeting he was saying, and I couldn't understand, everybody was laughing. And he said, the government has no business to be in business. So, what is Dato Sri's thoughts on Kedai Rakyat 1, Madani Mart, etc.?
I agree. The government is not supposed to be in business. They're supposed to facilitate
Business. Govern.
govern, facilitate.
Law and order.
Yes, and if in case there is pricings are going wrong, or people, business people being business people forming cartel, then the government should intervene, right? There is a current slogan going around which is by our Tan Sri KSN is kurangkan karyana bureaucracy. Because we are too bureaucratic. And I think the government, and especially the current Tan Sri KSN, serious about it, very, very serious about it. That he keep, every time we have a meeting, because Pemuda has a meeting with him every 2 months at least, we bring up challenges, and he there and there and says, why does it take 3 months to get this thing done? And when it can be done in 3 days, and instructs the civil servant, do it now. Okay? He's serious. Okay, it's good to have someone up there. Okay, but you see, bureaucracy is everywhere. Okay, in the government. But this now kurangkan karena bureaucracy, current slogan, is working. Seriously, it's working. People might not feel it down there, but being in the meetings and the committees and looking at data, things are moving. Things are moving. Give the government time. Things cannot change overnight. Right? Give the government time. I mean, you can't lose weight also overnight.
Sure.
And if you lose the weight too far, then you just die off. You probably get it back. So if you lose the weight progressively, people will love to have an ideal weight like you lah, correct? Okay. So, but this takes time.
Sure.
A lot of discipline. Right? So, and the government has the will to do it now, especially the current KSN. I think we will get it done if everyone supports. Everyone be positive.
Sure.
We can see numbers going up. Our competitive index this year came to 15.
Yeah, we are a very
15,
which is good.
15. We are World Bank competitive.
Course,
We are number 15. It's not that bad. I mean, from the 100 and odd countries, we're number 15. So we, of course, Malaysians are very good at blaming. We always think so low of ourselves. We say, oh, our jams are bad. Wow, immigration susah. Complain. You go to US and see how many so-called developed
Developed
country,
nations,
how many hours you spend in immigration? I love, especially being a Malaysian, leaving the country and coming back in the country is a breeze with our so-called my border, right?
Sure.
Okay, don't know which crony got it lah, but anyway, but anyway, to me, efficiency lah.
Sure.
Whoever does it doesn't matter, but don't do turap.
Sure,
You heard of
sure.
turap? I think I'm not sure whether this is part, but it is still cost of living basis.
Sure. Yeah, of
So
course.
this is a very serious thing. Every business person, yesterday, for lunch, I was somewhere, and happened to go for lunch at one of my favorite, almost everyone's favorite Kale banana leaf, Nirvana.
Yeah.
Having there, and then the lady says, Datuk, what is this turap? Please do something. So even the lady there also is getting worried. Okay, because
Did she say that the price are going up because of MYDIN? No, she didn't.
no,
say
she
that.
didn't. She didn't. But she's worried that price of things might go up because of turap.
Of course.
Because if the government saying is one thing, more efficiency. This is it. Then you say we'll be charging the system will charge the employers
Correct.
$1,000 per employee.
Exactly.
And then this system will take 1 month's salary as if you are going to employ to an employment agency. That cost.
So my question, Datuk, is I don't understand this for years together, but one of the thing is we outsource certain things to certain people, and in the UK when Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher did this, the civil service actually used to say privatization is piratisation. And so when we outsource this, why not make it competitive? So why not, like this foreign labor that we're talking about, there's so much of criticism about it, but I have seen this happen from one government to another government to another government. Nobody seems to be having the guts or the courage to bell the cat.
Too much money.
Too much
There's
money.
too much money being made from various places. Unfortunately, the process can be very simple.
True.
It can be simplified. Our neighbor Singapore does it
Of course,
wonderfully.
Singapore does
All right?
it well.
There's no issues. You go online, you apply. Why you need a turap system?
Exactly.
Saying that this will connect the employers here directly to the labor market in Bangladesh. The labor in Bangladesh, unfortunately, I'm not putting the country down, but the people who come here, they can hardly read.
Yeah, they
Right?
can't. They can't
Okay.
do anything, right?
Right? So if you are telling them at that level, okay, to go online and apply a job in MYDIN, and I connect to them, do a interview via online. Come on, let's be practical.
Right.
Use our brain, please. It's not going to work. So someone is going to benefit. If you remember those days, when we wanted to apply for passport, you go down there, the one person sitting down there.
Yeah,
Come,
right.
ta. RM5 or RM2, can't remember. Because we don't know how to fill forms.
Yeah, but
Right? The people do it for you and say, there you go, But
You go to
nowadays, nothing. We just go, get it done, right?
the entire process digitized, so obviously
If our immigration
can do it.
is under KDN, right? Immigration seriously is efficient.
Right,
As far as
true.
passport is concerned, our JPJ, you want your license,
True,
so efficient, right? Okay? I'm telling you, I think we are the only country, seriously, that efficient,
True,
you want to change something, you lose your IC, you go there, definitely give you IC straight away,
Yeah.
All right?
Just like a
the-
passport, which used to take 1 week, now it's in 2 hours or 1 hour.
Correct. And one of my relatives, who my mother just passed away recently, so sudden news in the US, wanted to come and say, Alamak, to apply for the passport, going to take me 3 weeks.
True.
He said,
true.
sorry, I can't come.
Yeah.
One of my, sorry, I can't. My passport expired, And I just put it in. It's going to take me 2-3 weeks. I said, I wish you were in Malaysia. You would have just walked to the immigration office. And if the flight says 6 hours, you say, Tuan, tolong. Ada orang
can
meninggal.
get it 1 hour.
Straight away, they said, you duduk sana.
Yeah, that's
We
it.
are that
That's
efficient,
it.
you know.
That's it.
So don't tell me these so-called employing of foreign workers cannot be as efficient. And if they're telling me this Turab is going to do it, I doubt it. Okay, but if they say going to do it, then it's okay. But the issue here is that why are you implementing something, okay, when you have not even have consultation with the stakeholders?
Exactly.
See, we in business are for efficiency. Right? See, I don't really care who gets the project, whether it's our good friend Bestinet, not my good friend. I said, whoever it is, okay, whether Bestinet gets it or Afternet gets it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
True.
We businesses don't care. No? What do you want to pay? Who you want to pay? Fine. All we want is efficiency. If I can sit down there.
If that agency can provide that efficiency, otherwise just leave it end user. Straight on, right?
Same thing. Like now you want to employ for the maid, you pay 13,000 ringgit, right? Those days, the maid used to just take a tourist visa. Then we used to go to the immigration, pay the levy, and we get the maid.
Exactly.
And you said, no, slavery, all these things. You know what? There are some bad apples there.
Of course.
And because of that few bad apples, you blame everybody. And you make everybody pay for it. So,
I had one more interesting observation because Dato Sri seems to be very passionate about living wages, about efficiency, about best practices. I went to Australia and we had a business. And so we had about 4 or 5 staff and they were kind of from overseas. So the Australian guy said, the minimum wages here is 600 Aussie dollars a week. So I said, wow, 600 times 3 is 1,800 in Malaysian ringgit. And for 4 weeks, it's 7,200 ringgit. And I said to this guy, no, I don't think the boys need that much money. You can give them $200 and they can probably survive on $800 because that's the cost of living wages. The guy said, Palan, it's against the law. It's $600 and it's up to us to manage and lead them to the productivity. But 600, the guy is taken care of. His minimum basic living standards are taken care of. Now, sometimes I don't see that happening to our foreign labor in this country.
you know, we pay so much for the foreign workers, seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
If the government think that we are dying to employ foreign labor, they are wrong.
Yep, sure.
Okay? It's a matter of matching people to work that is required. And in every country for that matter, seriously, they are foreign workers.
Sure.
Right? In the US, you have the Mexicans or you have,
Yeah, of course.
right? Okay? We have it here. You go to UK,
Of course.
it's a melting pot. Actually, when you go to London, you can't find masala anymore.
Yeah. They're outside London. Yeah.
Okay, you only outside London.
Yeah, they're outside London.
Okay, in London, you go, everyone is someone else. It's a melting pot, right? I think employing workers to do what they can do.
Sure.
And they're not cheap, seriously.
Sure.
You pay 1,700 plus OT, BOT, come to 2,200. Now we have to give them living space,
Yeah.
which is our higher standard where the locals think the metal is supposed to be thicker.
Sure.
All right? That easily costs you 400-500 a month. So that is already 2,007, you know? And if something happens to them, we have to take care of them. Because you have, here, I mean, in my area, if someone gets sick, you say, hey, can you call her mom?
Yeah.
Or call her brother, and the mom, brother, somebody comes and take them away. If a foreigner gets sick, we have to make
You're
sure, take the person,
responsible.
bring to the hospital, what happened, take care, and, really, because they don't have anybody else.
Responsible.
You see?
Yeah,
So, seriously, the cost is higher. Right? But then, the locals don't want to do. Why they don't want to do? Maybe the government spoils them. We are spoiled.
Or is it a 3D? Dangerous, difficult, dirty.
Well, if you pay them enough, you see, Malaysians say, I don't want to do the work, but same Malaysians are in Singapore doing the same work.
Of
But
course.
obviously, you're paying 3 times more.
Sure.
Right. So I think the question of 3D is not there.
Sure.
The question of paying the right wages. Okay. Back to our original minimum wages. So if we keep, you can't pay 1,700 today and say tomorrow, okay, you pay them 4,000, they will do clean your, your drains for you. Of course they would, right? But how do I go from 1,700 to 4? But if we bring it up 200, 200, 200, it will get there.
Sure. I think the former Prime Minister, I think 2-3 times ago, he had this high income nation strategy, which was a high cost economy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't go through. I just had one or two more questions. Datuk Sri, this one was your famous social media post. A member of parliament suggested that MYDIN was benefiting disproportionately, I'm using the word carefully, or heavily from the SARA initiative. And I think Datuk Sri responded quite directly or straight to the point or bluntly, when even referencing and saying "lu sapa," right? So I just want to ask Datuk Sri, from your perspective, do you think that they misunderstood it, or was it really political banter, or it's just that they just didn't understand how businesses work?
No, I think politicians being politicians, right? And they're in parliament, so there's nothing much we can do about it. They're protected. They should come out and say it outside.
Of course.
They can say, you have the guts, come out and
Of
say
course.
it. Why use the protection of parliament to say what you want to say? I think that's number one. Number two, let's be fair. Why there's so many retails? And I'm not saying that retailers are not benefiting from the so-called SARA scheme.
Sure.
We are grateful,
Yeah.
to the government for the scheme, because business is bad.
Of course.
And when you do a scheme like this, you're pumping in billions of dollars in the economy. It's almost 10 to 12 billion a year.
Of course.
Right? So that money, seriously, which goes directly to the consumers. Actually, why is the government doing the SARA scheme? Actually, it's a multiplier effect. If you're an economist, look at the macro picture, right? It's an economy.
Of course.
It's a multiplier effect. I spent 10 billion, multiplier effect will be 3 or 4 times.
Sure.
So that turns. Business is bad out there. So when the government spends the money, and say, I want to spend the money, who shall I give it to? Give to the poorest. Excellent. Right? Use the IC, the best. Those days used to give cash, and leakages will go through. So the B40 benefits. Where the multiplier effect? The retailers benefit, the logistic provider benefit, the manufacturer benefit. So it's in effect all the way. That's number one. Number two, our great YB says MYDIN. MYDIN is not the biggest beneficiary. There are 4 more bigger
Larger
retailers out
outlets.
there.
Yeah.
I think he should use his numbers lah. But maybe he likes MYDIN. I always say thank you YB for advertising MYDIN in Parliament. It's so kind of you. I get free publicity, so I don't have to do another TikTok to publicize MYDIN. But I think, to be fair, we all benefit. We are grateful for the government. And it is a good initiative. It's a good initiative because the government can tweak it. And I'm very serious. As time goes, and if they have the more political will, they can tweak it more. If they feel that, the Kelantanis need more money, or the Kedah people need more, or Sarawak,
So you support.
instead of giving 100 or 200 to everybody, now it's more like general.
Right.
You earn 4,000, okay, I give you 200.
Right.
I give everyone, but this can be tweaked slowly. You can see in Singapore it's being tweaked. The same system they also use to help the hawkers. Government can tweak it. They say, okay, I'm going to put another 100 ringgit for the B40, but you can only use in Pasar Malam. You can only use at hawker center.
Needs-based, yeah.
So you are helping those. That's fair. So the system is there, it's being tweaked, and the right people are benefiting. You do look at the Budi 95, right? Actually, I was one of those who said, another system, waste of time, waste of money. Who's getting this project again? You know, but I myself, agree. It's a perfect scheme, Budi 95,
needs space.
because of all the leakages we have, right? Now, I don't get as much benefit because I use more petrol. Never enough for me.
Sure.
But it helps those who need.
Who need?
And then government saves money, right? And because of all these savings, the current prices that has gone up so much, okay? The government is being able to subsidize. With difficulty, of course.
Sure.
Leakages in diesel, now it's being sorted out.
Controlled,
Yeah, so I think, given system, I think we must be, great that we are using technology to benefit the rakyat.
Yeah, wonderful. I think what Datuk Sri is saying is technology is enabling people to have a better living. But in Singapore, this subsidy mindset, just as we come to the end of the podcast, Datuk Sri, the current president, when he was the Deputy Prime Minister and Economy Minister, he said, we have to stop subsidizing. And he said, we have to stop these social benefits beyond the point unless and until it's desperately needed, like the orang tua or maybe the orang miskin or something like that. But otherwise, instead of subsidy, we should do something else. And I asked this question to Datuk Sri because I know you are a director of the Human Resource Development Corporation. And his argument was that we need skills development. And as skills go up, then of course wages will go up and people's standard of living will go up. But he said, we can't perpetually subsidize across the board for everyone, then of course we cannot afford it. What are your thoughts, Datuk Sri?
No. He said that before he became the Prime Minister. Okay. And now he's giving to almost everybody.
Yeah.
My dear sister, who doesn't need it in Singapore, also gets the money.
Of course, right.
And she was telling me, 600, I have to go and spend my 600. I have to go and shop and buy this and buy that. I said, but you
don't need it.
Thank for the grace of God that you don't really need it. I know, but the government is giving it to me. You see? So being an economic minister, you say something. That being the prime minister, you do something else.
Right.
But after saying that, all of us economists will look at it and say, I'm basically pumping money
into the economy. Yeah.
Into the economy. Okay,
Yeah.
The economy is slowing down. It doesn't matter whether Tan Sri, Palan gets it or A gets it. Give it to people who will spend it and they help. I cannot keep giving to the B40 because then if I give, you see, people ask and they think, why did the government give $100 to everybody? Me and you should got the $100. We say, oh. And complain pula tu. Only 100 First you don't need it, and then you say, only 100 Then I say, give it back. Why should I? Right? So this is human nature, right? But why did the government do it? I think they haven't explained well enough. Okay? PM said, oh, maybe it's in a good mood, help give everybody. But to me, I look at it, the policy decision is number one. Okay? Test the system.
Right.
Test the system. Is Tan Sri in the loop or not? Oh, he's in the loop. Is this person? Oh, we miss people, Some people are not in the loop. Now the government knows how many people are really in the loop because they got it and then they spend it. 96% of the people spend the money.
Yeah.
Even though nobody said, I need it, I don't need it, but now they spend the money.
It goes back into the economy. You're pumping it into the economy.
So they know that people used it and they spend it. That is, I think, a very crucial point. And they can use it again because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. This is a testing mechanism. I give you back. You pump money, okay, multiplier. But if something happens seriously to the country, massive tsunami, even the Tan Sri and the Datuk Sri also need money.
Of course.
Right? Whole system crash or something like that. Right? Okay? Money in the IC, go and spend. Right? Otherwise, how is the government going to come and help me and you? So I think the system has been tested and going everywhere and everything.
Sure.
Okay, that's one. Number two, then people say, why you give me? Give to the poor. You cannot give too much money to the poor also. Like you say, that become, hey, last time you gave me 200, then you give me 300, now you kurangkan duit saya. Because people feel entitlement, you know.
It's like the social security system in Europe,
Yeah. So you are giving me less. They will get angry. So let me give other people. I want money to be spent, but I don't want to give too much to you. I know you need the money, but okay lah.
to just manage
So you balance it. I think this is how the government thinks. But maybe the government don't articulate it out well enough. Or one, number two, or when they say it, being politicians, people don't want to believe lah.
True.
You know, you say, election coming. So that's another issue.
Sure.
So people sometimes don't want to believe. But I feel seriously, not to say I support this government or that government.
Sure.
But I think many of the current government's policies are being done correctly.
Okay.
With dual objective to want to ensure the B40s don't remain down there. They have cukup makan lah.
Uplift them.
Cukup makan. You know, we don't have severe poverty.
Sure.
Mana ada orang tak boleh makan di Malaysia? Seriously. I mean, there could be some people who we miss and comes out in the papers living in some hut. But seriously, straight away, imagine you find someone like that, say, oh my God, suddenly she becomes a rich woman. Everybody gives. We are a giving society, right? So there are seriously not many people out there that really is suffering. So policies are very good. Poverty level is really
Going
low.
down.
Really going down. So we have done that. FDI is coming in. So good, clear government
Strategy.
policy.
Very
Right?
good.
We have a very good location. Money is coming in. Hopefully coming to the right places.
Thank you.
Okay.
So you know, Datuk Sri, in Europe, they always used to say, I don't want to go to work because the unemployment benefit pays me more. You know. But I was looking at this book. I found this MYDIN, The Untold Story, written by Datin Sri Dr. Hajjah Siti Hawa Muhammad. So, and then I looked up and as I was reading, I looked at the expansion of MYDIN. And of course, you're a role model entrepreneur and you're a leader. And one of the things that was written there, the line was, everyone can manage, but not all can lead.
They all can lead.
Yeah, or leadership. So I was just wondering, your thoughts, just a couple of lines. Everyone can manage, but not everyone can be a leader. So what do you think? And when you talk about the expansion of MYDIN, did that come up from you or did it come up from Datin Sri, the author? I was just curious.
No, it's like
as
this.
an academic.
I think first credit must go to my wife lah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
First, thank you for putting my photo in front. The face behind. But
A
seriously,
lot younger photo, right? But you
correct,
still look the same. Yeah.
But not a word is written by me, right?
Of course.
She writes
Of
well.
course, of
She writes
course.
well, and she wanted to pen down. And I'm very grateful she did it because a lot of things in the book relate to my late father.
Sure.
Father,
saw
our
that.
mentor, and you know how hard he worked to come to where he was. And of course, then my brothers, their wives, our wives, and the siblings now
Sure.
are continuing that effort.
So it's a third generation.
Yeah, and my nephews are there, and they're helping out.
Sure.
And you know, I'm already in the 70s now, so I guess we have to pass it with difficulty.
Sure.
Because being a micro
Sure.
manager, we find very hard to let
Sure.
go, but we have to. Okay, but I think the most important thing here is that people say don't micromanage.
Correct.
Unfortunately, I beg to differ lah. Maybe it's my style.
Sure.
But sometimes when I look at other entrepreneurs, when you talk to them, sometimes you find the same thing. They say that, you know, I've been trying the same thing. I micromanage, I try to let go. I find things don't work right, then I try to take back and still do it. As long as you can manage it. I mean, you have to have a balance somewhere, right? But the main thing here is, of course, to listen. To be a good leader,
Of course.
listen more and talk less. I don't know whether my wife will agree with that or not. Lah. Okay, but listen more and,
Of course, yeah.
and talk less.
Of course.
I think what is lacking in this world is listening skills.
Of course.
People tend to want to talk. They say you give a mic to a politician and
Sure.
that's it.
You
Lah.
will, yeah.
There's no end to it, right? Okay, so the most important thing is to listen and do it with humility. With humility. I see lots of things out there. Seriously, a lot of influencers, like you say, when you see me on TikTok or whatever, you will never see me on TikTok or something showing off my house or showing off my car or showing off my expensive shirt which I don't have. Okay, I think it's important that when you become an influencer, whatever you be, tell people the right thing to do. I'm more than happy that you became an overnight millionaire, for example.
Sure.
Fine, and thank God, and I hope it lasts. I hope it lasts. But I wish, don't forget my late father's saying, naik tangga jangan berlari. Okay, when you go up the staircase, don't run.
Of course.
Because if you fall,
It's going to be far
you're
worse.
going to be coming all the way down. But if you take the staircase slowly and you go up,
Gradually.
if you find that you have some breathing difficulties, stop. Rest. Take a few more steps. Say, maybe I need to go and check my doctor. So business is like that. You don't run, don't rush. You take steps slowly, and then if your cash flow becomes a bit more tight, you stop. You stop. Suppliers don't want to give you good, then you stop. Why? I'm not paying people on time. Stop for a while. Let me get back my cash flow. Maybe I'm growing too fast. Slow down a bit, and then you go again. So I think those things are important.
True.
Right? It's safer to take the staircase because eventually you get to the top.
Sure.
Okay? But if you take the lift, if the lift rusak, you fall down, you die big.
I know. I read about your father's advice there. He says integrity is very important.
Yes.
Reputation is very important, and it's built.
No,
That
I
was-
think that is the most important thing.
That's
Makan duit halal. I mean, as a Muslim, you will say. But I'm sure every religion tells you the
course.
same thing, right? Makan duit halal. I think that's my father has always pointed that. Number one. Number two is that be punctual. Discipline. Even for this podcast, I was waiting in the car. I said, when Tan Sri is coming. But you were on time. I'm not saying that. but I was already 25 minutes earlier.
No, I was telling my staff, knowing that Tosri is going to be early, so whatever happens, let's go there. Then when we got in there, I saw you coming out of the car. I said to her, what time is this? No, but he has come early. I said, my goodness, I wanted to be there before he comes. But
that is discipline.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I think
I must tell you this. I had a meeting with 3 generals, Tan Sri Zaidi, Tan Sri Sharom, and Major General Datuk Palan Mohandas. So I said to myself, the meeting is what time? It's 9 o'clock. So I said, let's go there 8:45. So I got there 8:45. They were there at 8:30. And I think it's so very important in the world of business.
you know what? That is, you're talking about the generals. I was asked to give a talk at Inland Revenue. Inland Revenue. And normally, when we go and give this kind of talk, right? They put you in the holding room. They say, people are not here, there. And normally, we start 15, 20 minutes later. By the time you start, it's half an hour.
Sure.
And that was Inland Revenue.
Yeah.
It was, say, 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. So I was there as usual early, having chit-chat. Then the people say, can we start? I said, it's not time. Other people there. So when I went in, the first thing I said, first time I'm sitting and starting a talk with few hundred people, before time. I think that's why you are a very good tax collector. That's why our revenue the income tax revenue keep increasing.
I know. So just before I finish, I must tell one more story on that. And then this was, I went to New Delhi, and my guest said the meeting in the ministry is at 8:30, but generally they would come late. So this was in a place called Udyog Bhavan or something. So they said ministers would generally come late. So we could go there at 8:45. I said, no, we just come only for this meeting. So I'd like to be there at 8 sharp. He said, no, we could. I said, no, 8 o'clock. So both me and the guests, we were there at 8 o'clock. When we entered the room, the minister, this gentleman was, his name was Mohan something, and he was from Mumbai, Maharashtra. He was there in the room. He was all alone. He was just reading the paper, the newspaper, and having a cup of coffee. And I said, sir, you are here. I said, look, I can't change the way they do things, but I will inch by inch change it, because change never happens in a day. Within about 20 minutes, his cabinet secretary arrived. Then everybody else arrived. And I realized that if you want to set a standard, be a role model yourself. I think you're a great role model, sir. And we thank you so much for being on this podcast.
Thank you.
And getting you here and talking to you was a joy. If there's one thing that you would want Malaysians to remember from this conversation, what would it be? That's right.
We are a blessed country. Seriously. Blessed country. Keep the right attitude. Talk positive. Our competitive index is getting better and better. Support the government of the day. That's all.
Thank you.
Whichever the government, doesn't matter.
Thank you.
But once we have a government, support the government of the day, because without support, the government can't do much. We need the support of the Rakyat.
Thank you.
There's time to change the government. When the time comes, it's all up to you.
Up to you.
Do vote. That's very important.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure talking to Datuk Sri MYDIN of MYDIN, Malaysia's fame, Malaysia's icon, entrepreneur. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
Terima kasih.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Subscribe now and tap the bell icon.